A little while back, Animated Horror Flicks, which is one of my favorite horror animators, ended up putting out an SCP video. It was an animation about how SCP-096 was in temporary storage between containment cycles and ended up breaching containment with the help of the Doorman, an SCP that we hadn't seen yet. Now, I reacted to the Doorman a little while back, but this is part 2 of that episode in, I guess, a little series that we got going on. It's by Animated Horror Flicks, guys. Make sure to subscribe to him, and let's get into this animation. Where's he at? Oh, he's in an SCP uniform.
It's been a while now. Do you feel ready to talk?
Maybe he's shocked?
Can I get you another coffee?
The Foundation's got a hold of
Listen,
him now.
The sooner you tell us what happened, the sooner we can move forward.
He was
So,
completely
why don't you start from when
unsuspecting.
you lost the camera feeds in the control room?
Yeah, he lost camera feed. Oh, I love it. It's like the music from The Rubber. Part 2, baby. So this is kind of recapping what happened at the last episode. He was a security guard, and all of a sudden the cameras went black. He's freaked out by now.
After losing the camera feeds, I was completely oblivious to what was going on outside.
Right.
For whatever reason, I just kept expecting someone or something to burst through the control room door. So we just sat in the corner, waiting for backup to arrive, which had already been delayed a lot longer than expected.
Sure.
I began to suspect that there was an even more severe underlying issue with the facility. The only thing I could think of at that point was to reset the power grid, which could restore the system and override the lockdown, or plunge the facility into darkness and fail to come back on at all.
Oh boy.
It was a long shot.
He's got a file
All I wanted
cabinet.
to do was open that control room door without knowing what was on the other side.
That won't stop 096, buddy. Try it out. Flip the switch. Lights out. I love the horror spin that he puts on this. Try to imagine being a security guard in a crazy place and having some
As
weird
the power
stuff happen.
gradually restored,
That's
it did appear to reboot the system.
that's
and
the
I was
doorman.
relieved to see the camera feeds come back online. Although it did reveal an unsettling realization that the security door to the storage unit was now open.
Busted a hole through
I
it.
carefully checked each camera to verify whether or not I could safely make it to the exit.
096 is
The
strong,
coast
man.
seemed clear, and I could see that the door to the exit was no longer blocked.
Okay, good.
So it appeared that rebooting the system did override the lockdown.
You could just get out then.
At this point,
So can
I had
they,
to
though.
assume that help wasn't coming, and it was up to me to escape to the upper floor and
Alright.
contact HQ. But after quickly skipping over the camera overlooking the security clearance
You
bay,
saw that?
I caught something in the corner of my eye. Something morbidly familiar.
Yeah.
Then I remembered the same creature I had witnessed in the X-ray from the security brief. Long, slender arms, longer than any human, and
Yeah.
skin absent of any hair or pigmentation. I know I should have probably felt safer in
So
the
do you
control
have to
room,
look at his
but
face? I don't
after seeing
remember.
how the storage unit was breached,
I guess so.
it felt much more like I was trapped. After carefully observing the creature on the monitor, I realized that it appeared to be in a state of retreat
Yeah.
and almost motionless, as if it were dormant.
They don't like. He doesn't like to
I
fight.
thought that perhaps if I was quiet enough,
He goes in
I might
rage
be
though
able
when
to
you see
slip
when
right
you see him.
past and walk straight through the exit.
Make a run for it, dude. Make a run for it. Or just walk calmly. I forgot. Does he have a gun even? I think he does. Not that that'll change anything.
My slow
but
descent down the long corridor
in
suddenly
his
came to an
thoughts,
abrupt stop,
you know?
as I witnessed a shadow reach out from the clearance bay.
That's him.
I
It's
figured
not
I wouldn't have
096.
enough time to run back to the control room without being seen, so I instead quickly retreated into the locker room, closing the door behind me, but not all the way. I didn't want to risk making any noise.
Right. Smart.
I wanted desperately to catch my breath, but I knew being as quiet as I could was probably my only chance of survival, so I waited silently in the dark locker room as I observed in horror the light from the door reaching back into the room. The tension of that moment just forced me to close my eyes and try to think
Is
of
that the
something
door? Oh
that could
no!
offer an
It's
instance of solace.
096 just walking around.
But then my eyes opened and the shadow was gone.
Thank goodness
After
you didn't look
confirming I
at
was
it.
alone in the locker room, I approached the door and acquired a partial view of the exit. With my back to the wall, I gradually edged closer to the corner opposite the exit, where I took one last look at the security clearance bay.
Alright.
But there was no sign of the creature.
It's not making any
I wasn't
noise
going
either.
to waste any more time, so I headed to the exit.
That's
but as
good.
I grabbed the door handle,
Uh-oh.
I suddenly felt overwhelmed with incredible fear.
That's the
Left me
doorman.
completely paralyzed.
That's
Still
the
unable to
doorman.
move, I began hearing a strange sound resonating from the exit.
The wheezing.
It was quickly accompanied by the emergence of a long, slender figure.
Oh no. That's actually Shy Guy.
It was only at the very last moment help finally arrived.
Oh dang. The foundation. Ha ha! Saved. I thought it was the doorman wheezing.
What the hell? How's he still alive?
It's a good
And
question.
that's the last thing I remember.
Well, you were right. SCP-303 can be used to contain 096.
Sure looks that
303
way.
is the doorman.
So from now on, we keep them in close proximity, especially since we now know how to properly control 303.
And if 303 decides to no longer cooperate?
Well, luckily for us, the security guard's exposure to 096 has revealed an unexpected benefit.
Which is?
It would appear that 096
This sounds like
never
Terrence.
attacks the same target twice. And if you're lucky enough to survive the initial hostile encounter with 096, you become essentially immune.
Wait, these
My
are the same
point
voice
being,
actors
we can't let him
from
go. He already knows too much. And the fact that
Horror
he's now
Shorts
immune
Party.
to the effects of 096 provides us with an opportunity in case 303 decides to resist.
Recruitment? But can we trust him?
We can't trust anyone, but we could set him up with an assignment to see if he's ready.
What did you have in mind? Oh, that one? Seriously?
an
Do you
assignment?
really think he will succeed where everyone else at the Foundation has failed?
Most unlikely, but that will be his problem.
We
No.
might have a part 3 or something different. A new task. Cool, man. Oh, this was really, really good. I'll make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, Terrence Nicholson and Erica Johnson. It's Horror Shorts Party, you guys. I recognize their voices. There's the doorman. That's 303. I don't really know how 303 works to contain 096. This is really good though, man. Really, really good. You know, I love tales that just go off a little bit and give us some stories about the SCPs, not necessarily what happens verbatim to the readings. The readings are very, very good, and I usually get them, but you know, there was a recent video that was done by SCP Illustrated about how a lot of the animation channels are essentially kind of running the search results for all of the SCP content. Like when you search SCP content on YouTube, it comes through the animations and stuff. And I'm not going to go off on a tangent. I appreciate all the content creators in this space, especially around the SCP community. But honestly, the animations are really, really entertaining. And sometimes that's what you like, you know? I love the accuracy and the depth that some of the readings go into. But you've got all of these different things that can happen, like these stories like this that are just, they're amazing, you know, the creativity that goes behind these, taking a concept and just running with it. Really, really cool. So big shout out to Animated Horror Flicks. Thanks so much for putting this out, buddy. And make sure to subscribe to him, you guys, as well as me, if you like my reactions. Listen, his link's going to be right there. There's going to be a couple of reaction videos that I did from him here. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.
Break it down.